So good morning, and I just want to thank Mary Pat and Jody again for inviting us all back to speak and present at CruiseWorld. The topic of discussion, as you all know, was based on a favorite quote. This is the first one that came to mind for me. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. No one is credited as the author, but it is noted as an African proverb. My career started in human resources more than 30 years ago. 4 years ago, I was given the opportunity to run the home-based division of World Travel Holdings, Dream Vacations, Cruise One, and Cruises, Inc. Honestly, the best career choice I've made in my life. This quote is the basis of the success that our travel agents have experienced. You see, we work as a team. None of what we do is done alone. My business is franchising, and my customer is the travel professional who joins our network. We have a unique opportunity to have two groups of people whose success is dependent on each other, the franchisor and the travel professional. The best franchisors ensure that it is a win-win relationship. They are not in it to sell franchises. They know that if they want to go far, they need to go together. Travel professionals know it too. It is cultural, it is the soft stuff. Culture, obsessive customer focus, that at the end of the day is the differentiator. I, as most companies, have invested millions of dollars in marketing and technology. It's table stakes. Not just keeping up with it, but as the great Wayne Gretzky said, I skate to where the puck is going to be, not where it has been. We have to look towards the future and work on things that are going to make a difference, not just for today, but for tomorrow. But honestly, that is the easy stuff. We all do it, and we all do it well. The difference, which only the great companies focus on, is always the people going together. Here's a video that I believe depicts going further together. Pretty powerful. Derek, the athlete in the video, went together with his dad. That's what we do. We hold each other up. In fact, sometimes something may be better for the travel professional than the franchisor, economically or otherwise, but because it will make them better, ultimately, it is a good win for both of us. It's a win-win. In business, when we talk about success, we often think of how much we're going to sell, how much money are we going to make. Those are results, not goals. How we approach things, your mission and your values, when focused on the bigger picture, when built with people in mind, will result in bigger sales. The easiest way for me to show you how that works in business is to use an example of one of my customers in our network. Mara and Claudia, who are sisters, have been with the network for over 20 years. Without getting into details, to say that there was a lot of turbulence in their life would be a significant understatement. Mara, in particular, was also dealing with a life-threatening illness. Their business, although a top producer at the time, was slow growth year over year. When the turmoil hit, we all assumed their business would likely decline. Instead, it grew 30% year over year, now going into the third year in a row. And that is a 30% increase on an already significant volume, which, as we all know, is not easy to do. So what happened? She used her challenges as a motivation to give back, to reach out to her support network, including many of the suppliers in this room, her headquarters team, to work on things she may not have if not for the turmoil that was happening in her life. And we all went together. I recently asked Mara how things were going, and here's what she said. I'd never imagined that this business I started years ago would evolve into what it did. I trusted the evolution of it, and the people who came into my life are actually the best part of it all. In good times and in bad times, there is no difference between family and colleagues. We are all in this together, and never have I known this more than I do now. At the end of the day, you need to have trust in a relationship for that to truly work. Speaking of trust, we had a great keynote speaker at our most recent national conference. His name is David Horsager. And according to his talk with us, trust is a confident belief in a person, product, or organization. More importantly, a lack of trust is your biggest expense. He goes on to discuss how trust, not money, is the currency of business and life. And according to a study in 2005, 80% of people stop buying products or services from companies when their trustworthiness comes into question. The topic of trust, it comes back to going together. Creating relationships, trusting relationships will serve you to go further. Think about it. Customer loyalty is lower than ever. People don't think of being loyal because they don't feel that loyalty from the companies they work with. Vicki Freed from Royal Caribbean tells us that 3 out of 5 customers use a different travel agency for their next booking. 3 out of 5. And yesterday, she commented that your customers need to know you are there, that you are on their team, and you are working for them to build value. You should not be selling to them. You should be going together. But you can't do that until you work on the pillars of trust. It's not a nice to do, it's a must. As agents, your biggest opportunity is to create relationships that are based on trust. David Horsager wrote a book about it. You would do yourself a service to read it. But today, I want you to take away that people want to do business with people they like and people they trust. You really can go further together. Earlier, I mentioned the differentiator is the soft stuff. I read a blog by Seth Godin. Seth is an author of many books on marketing and leadership. And the blog read, "Here's a sign I've never seen hanging in a corporate office, a mechanic's garage, or certainly not a politician's headquarters. We have an unfair advantage. We care more." He went on to say, "It is easy to promise and difficult to do, but if you did it, it would work. More than any other skill or attitude, this is what keeps me and people like me coming back." Our success is built off of caring more. It is on our walls, but it's not just words. Leaving National Conference, I can promise you, trust, caring more, and going together is exactly what makes us and our travel agents successful. People want to be part of something bigger than themselves. Here's an example of how one of our agents felt about us going together immediately after conference. What I want to leave you with is this, is if you can accomplish it with your customers and not just say it, not just promise it, but actually do it so your customers feel it, I promise you, you will go further by going together. That's all I had for today, but before we leave, I wanted to do one thing. We woke up this morning to some sad news. And as a Parkland, Florida mother, I'd like to take a moment of silence for those we lost yesterday in another tragic mass shooting, this time in California. It is time for us as a country, speaking of going together, to come together and start working instead of, in order for me to be right, you have to be wrong. Now is the time. Visit us at booth 229. Thank you.